All right, y'all. Let's see how this goes. Another test with StreamYard. I'm going to be updating this software soon, so I'm going to be sharing screens and showing stuff and all that. Um, so I want to see if this live is actually working. This is an old computer too, as I'm testing StreamYard with this to see how good the video quality is. And I'm actually looking down here too at my phone. So we'll see how this comes up. If you guys are getting this notification, hopefully you can come on, chime in. We can chat for a bit and see how this goes. Like I said, I am looking down kind of at my phone on stuff. Let's see. I'll put a comment out just to see how this goes. And we got this here. There we go. All right, it is showing it. So we are showing comments here. Like I said, this is totally unplanned, but I did want to do some testing on this. So if you guys have comments, questions, want to discuss some stuff, now is the time to do it. You guys rarely see me. I'll start showing myself a little bit more because I plan on traveling also this year to a couple of locations. I might go to Skinwalker Ranch. I'm still debating on that one, but you know, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So what's going on, Champ Style? How you doing? Running a test on this. Probably get into some discussion in just a minute. Just want to see how this quality is on this. This is actually an old computer. It's not that old, but it's not the best computer. I use this when I used to do coding for text and stuff. So okay, sound and videos are 5.5. Okay, yeah, they suppress a lot of my videos. I'm actually surprised that a lot of my stuff, a lot of my notifications don't go out. I even have people that are close to me that talk about notifications and stuff, and they don't never get them. And I kind of wonder why, you know, some of my videos, I'm like, why is this stuff not kind of going viral? But it makes sense. I mean, it's just, they say, as Mr. Beast said, replace algorithm with audience, and your audience don't like the video and stuff. But you guys, I see the comments. I think I get about a 90% good rate on the comments on the videos that I put out. So, but anyway, I was trying to do this to where I could share my screen and stuff, but I probably got to do a couple of things in order to do that because there's still some discussion about the Miami incident. I just don't have good video footage, and I don't want to keep putting something out like that just to give views without really any information, because there's a lot of TikTok videos out about it, and that's yeah. You guys know how TikTok is. I did put out one or two, I think, with it, but we don't really see video. There's one video where somebody's showing some people running at the side or something, but you barely see it. The one video I put out with the one image is kind of one of the clearest ones I got, but with today's technology, somebody could easily have, they could have easily edited that video. I mean, somebody should have gotten something out of all that. It doesn't matter. Somebody should have gotten something. So, but anyway, these live streams are about you guys to ask questions, to talk about it. I can't share my screen that much. I think I need to go ahead and update this, but I'm trying to do some testing, and I'm looking at it actually on my phone too. So yeah, that could be true. All right. What's going on, John? A couple people else coming up in here. Yeah, Lance, I'm kind of with you on that. I'm still trying to look on it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it was just teenagers fighting or what, but it was an interesting thing. That's all it is to it. Even the one in Vegas, I could not really see what some people were seeing. Now, when they went in and broke the video down and showed stuff, I was like, okay, I can kind of see something behind the fence. But when I looked at the actual videos of it, I personally couldn't see it. So that's why people kept asking me to do more videos on it and all that. And I probably should have, to get more views, to get more subscribers, and get higher than I am now. But I just didn't feel 100% like it was legit. I mean, that's all is to it. So, man, I'm doing okay. I'm just trying to test this live stream. I'm going to have to do some parallel testing with this because I do want to go live, and I do want to actually have some guests on here as well, so you guys can actually ask questions and stuff. So I do want to do that, and that's actually coming this year. So So Becky says they are doing it to everyone with regards to notifications and people being unsubscribed. Yeah, it's a lot going on. So it's pushing through it. I mean, other channels have continued to push through, which I'm going to continue to try to do to push through this and get this channel up to where and I appreciate you guys. I don't think I don't. I appreciate you guys too, to get a lot of people involved in stuff too, because in order for me to get higher level people on this channel to start interviewing them and doing live streams and stuff, my channel has to grow, and it has to grow this year, because I do want to get some people on here to conversate with them, even if I have to pay them, so that you guys can ask kind of open questions, not anything derogatory, but just ask some general open questions, and have some of you guys that have actually seen stuff too. I'll have 2 or 3 viewers on here periodically, maybe once a week, and you'll talk about some of your experiences and stuff. So I plan on doing that stuff as well, but I have to get this live stream down. Yeah, I heard now. I did hear something about Jeremy Corbell kind of getting in trouble. I think he might have leaked something he shouldn't have leaked, like the last one with, what is it, the jellyfish, whatever, UAP. That might have been something that he probably shouldn't have put out as early. He's always digging in and getting stuff, though, so I do commend him for his efforts. But I don't know how that's going to play out with him in a little bit later on. But some of his leak footage is good. I mean, some of his information he has put out there, he has in a documentary and stuff. So he's a UFO enthusiast. I give him props for what he's doing, because he is bringing a lot of stuff to the community. And he's helped to push some stuff over the last 1 or 2 years a lot more than a lot of other people have. So he needs to get Bob Lazar, though. He needs to get Bob Lazar, in my opinion, in front of Congress to talk to Congress. Did you see the pyramid in Antarctica? I did not. If you have a link, put that link down, and maybe I can click on it and share with everybody. I know there's a lot of stuff going on over there. I think I told you guys that before. I heard a story that the Nazis didn't lose the war, that they actually, a lot of their scientists went to here and went to Russia, and then they actually moved to Antarctica. And there's a whole story behind that, but it kind of sounds science fiction more than science fact. But sometimes when something sounds science fiction, it's actually kind of true. There's a story, I mentioned it before, about Hitler. And one reason why Hitler said that he believed that the superior race was blonde haired and blue eyes is because a set of aliens, which you guys know of, are actually over 6 feet tall. They're supposed to be really athletic in build. They got pale white skin. So we're not talking about, Caucasian white, and they have dark blue eyes and they have golden hair. But for him, he thought it was blonde or whatever. But he said that's why he said that the superior race was looking like that, because apparently they came to them and gave them technological advancements. How true that is, I don't know, but I did read a book in the 90s that talked about that. He talked about life and bases being on Mars, and I believe it was an autobiography, and you can't even find that book anymore. I can't remember the name of it. Every time I search for it, I can't find anything on it. But I remember it was a book that I read on that, and that's what got me kind of skeptical of, like, what's really going on? So I appreciate that chance. Like Bizarre, so you do a lot of, and I got a lot more coming up. I was actually going to release one tonight, but it wasn't complete. I may release it just tomorrow morning. I got to actually shorten it down. It is about some UFOs or orbs being around volcanoes, and I may actually release that tonight. If you guys want to see that, I can get that ready and release that. It was going to be, I think it's about a 4-minute video. So YouTube's kind of wanting me to do longer videos too. So I'm going to have to start combining a couple of videos together to kind of meet that 8-minute mark. And I think they'll start promoting this channel a lot more. So, and I am, if you guys want to comment, put here, because I'm going to show everybody's comment that's actually on here. So John P, was you there? You said you saw just shadow on the mall. So like I said, the videos I've seen, I've been kind of like back and forth. I'm like, what did they really see? And I just didn't get that much information. Now, I do believe there are interdimensional beings. They could be demons that are actually coming here on this earth. And what we know, there's our demons coming on this earth. But what was that they saw at the mall? I don't know. They said it was 3 of them. Sometimes they travel in pairs or by themselves. There's a story that I could tell you guys about a friend who saw something down at Magic City, and I can tell you guys about that if you want to hear about that, because it's pretty interesting. get 3 or 4 yeses, and I'm kind of getting behind on comments, I will tell you guys about that. But it was a very interesting story. So Two News says, did you see the news video that documented an almost identical Miami mall incident that happened in January? I did not. I did not see that. I was trying not to go there with that. Sorry about that. So sorry, I double clicked, and like I said, I'm trying to get used to this StreamYard instead of doing it through my phone and trying to do something else. So let me go back up to these comments. I appreciate that, Lance. Let me just try to get through these before I get appreciate that, y'all, before I get to some of these stories. If you guys want to hear it. I thought about actually doing videos on it. The only thing with me doing videos on testimonies from other people is some people actually do not want to come on camera. I got 2 or 3 friends that have seen stuff, but they don't want to come on camera. But they've told me their story, and I can actually retell their story. The only thing is that I don't have facts for it. I just have their word of mouth for it. So I may do a series, a mini series or something that just says, I don't know, they told me or something like that. And it'll just be people's different stories. And what I'll have to do is get some AI software or something to start generating some of the clips. If you guys want to see stuff like that, let me know. I just didn't know if you'd be interested in seeing things like that. So Anthony says, crazy how the jellyfish video was only visible in infrared. Yeah, and that could be relating to interdimensional or spiritual beings with that. And it's kind of crazy how now that jellyfish video, I do believe that was real and legit. I really do. That could have been something spiritual or interdimensional. And for them to follow it, that makes it even more interesting. So someone out there, whoever recorded it, has seen something like that before. So since they saw it before, bam, they knew what to look for. That's just the most amazing thing. And what makes it even weirder or scary is that they knew when to record it. So maybe that whatever that was appeared at that base before. And that may be what has Jeremy Corbell. I think I saw a news article somewhere on Facebook. It could have been falsified. He might have been getting in a little trouble for showing that, but I'm not sure. But that's very interesting that you can only see that in infrared and that they actually filmed it too. So that means that's not their first time seeing stuff like that. So, okay, appreciate that, Becky. I'm gonna, like I said, I may do some of that other stuff if you guys want to see it. I don't know if you're saying balloon for the jellyfish or not, but that definitely was not a balloon the way it was going. What's going on, MW? Sorry, I'm trying to glance in and read that. So Lance said the jellyfish drove him for 17 minutes, but they said it didn't happen. See, and sometimes Jeremy Corbell, it's not to discredit him. Sometimes he may get a little bit of a Billy Meyer syndrome, where he sees something and then he makes a little bit more than what it is. I've seen that happen to people that have seen stuff, and you want the whole world, and I don't blame them, to see what you see or know what you know. And sometimes you kind of get exaggerated, but at his position, he really has to be cautious of some of the stuff he says and some of the stuff he puts out, because a lot of people are looking at him and looking for him for some UFO, UAP disclosure. So. Okay, the day after, it's no longer radioactive. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get to you guys' comments too to make sure y'all not asking me anything in particular. Yeah, Becky, I try to, and I try to leave up to you guys. I mean, I know what I've seen in my lifetime, and too bad I haven't recorded. Matter of fact, I saw a UFO the other day. It was so funny. It was about 2 weeks ago, and I said I was going to go back the next day, and I haven't been back to that spot since. But I was driving down 85 South, and I just saw like this beam of light just appear, and it just shot down, and it was crazy. It just like appeared and disappeared. And I said, "Are you kidding me?" And of course, I didn't have a dash cam in my car. If I would have had it, that would have been actually really good. But I see a lot of that stuff here. I see a lot of lights that appear and disappear, and they're actually shooting down into the ground. Like, what was that, War of the Worlds or something with Tom Cruise when the lightning was hitting the ground? And then all of a sudden they found out that there were aliens, beings under the ground. But I see stuff like that a lot. But it happens just so random that you don't think about recording it. By the time you think about recording, it's gone. So I do get it when some people come to me and they say, hey, this is what I got. It was so quick. And I've got actually a couple of videos and some some photos I'm going to show you guys. Some people emailed me this week about some stuff. It's so faint because one of them is at night, but you actually see kind of a UFO just kind of make an arch. And it's very interesting. And I'm not trying to discredit the people either, but they got a photo and they got a video and it's at night and it's by the ocean. So I plan on trying to put that out there, but it's so short. So I'm going to have to get a couple more because YouTube wants long videos. And I don't know if you guys want longer videos, but so what's going on, TM? Yeah. Going through this Corbell, I can't trust. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, John, I'm not faulting you. I'm not telling you to trust him or not trust him. So yeah, the Nordics is what I was talking about. That's what he saw. That's what Hitler saw. And I could do a video on that. But like I said, without having video evidence, it's going to be kind of hard. And it's going to be just kind of something that I read a long time ago. And that could be very discrediting. But there's videos out there, like Above Majestic talks about it. But they said that Hitler saw the reptilian type aliens, that the ones that were 8 to 12 feet tall, they had a bad stench to them. And they actually gave them working craft. You know, it's very interesting that the Nazis went from a propeller driven airplane to a jet within years. I mean, it was quick. And then they were doing that. And we thinking that they were creating the Foo Fighters. They had the Die Glocke, the bell. I mean, it was a lot of stuff that they were working on. Anti-gravity device. They were doing a lot of experimentation. They were working on the first flying wing or the boomerang shape. And I believe that that's some of the stuff that people saw back in the 40s and stuff. But that's just my opinion on that. So, yeah. Becky says Antarctica used to be tropical. That is true. It used to be a lot of stuff. And we got so much disinformation out here. It's not even funny. I mean, it's always very interesting. So, yeah, they said Mick West has debunked a lot of Corbell's footage. Yeah. Didn't he have one where the Navy ships and he thought it was Navy ships, but it was something else? I remember seeing that. And I didn't even cover that because that didn't seem too many people were saying that it wasn't real and they were debunking it and stuff. So, yeah, there's the History Channel has a video or has a photo of something they caught up by the North Pole. It looked like half of a UFO hanging out, and it is very interesting. And it could be several things. I thought about doing it. I probably need to do some more shorts, but shorts only get, I know some of you guys do watch. So I don't know if you watch my shorts a lot, but I got a lot of shorts out there too. But I thought about just doing a video short on it, but I need to just do the whole collage videos, just put them together and put that out there. So. But I did remember seeing that on the History Channel. I did actually look on Google Earth, and Google Earth actually starts covering up a lot of stuff. I remember when they actually thought they found Noah's Ark, and the next thing you know, it was a big cloud over the mountain. We're like, where'd that go? And a shadow outside. You may be still talking about the Miami stuff. Trying to make sure I show all you guys' comments too. I think the government might be using Corbell as a leak. They could be. They could be showing him stuff to maybe discredit too. So I'm trying to get to you guys' comments and showing what's going on. Okay, I don't know if you asked me if I'm doing okay, but you guys are conversating back and forth. Yeah, I saw the video inside the mall, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I stopped covering it, because there's too much TikTok video out there and too many people that are coming out with stuff and then later on saying, "Oh, I faked it. I was just trying to get views on my channel and all." And I don't want to make it more confusing than what it is. And what it's going to do is it's going to start discrediting a lot of stuff that people have actually seen, because people have actually said they've seen interdimensional beings. One of my friends, all right, Becky, I'll see you later. One of my friends said he saw something. Basically, so I was reading a book. I read a book in the 90s. It was by Mary Kay Baxter, and it was 40 Days in Hell. And she talks about a lot of stuff she saw down there and all that. But she mentioned a particular type of being that she saw, or a demon that she saw. And it might have been Abaddon. But she said that this demon had the body of a bear, and it was huge. But it had a face of a bat, and it had wings of a bat. And I was like, wow. So I always remember that. And I was talking to a friend who was a pastor. He became a pastor, and I won't say his name because he didn't tell me I could disclose his name, but he told me I saw that. And I said, what do you mean you saw that? And he said he was down in Magic City. Magic City is a shoe model club, if you guys don't know, but he said he was down there with his two dogs. He had two pit bulls, and he was behind the alley. What he was doing back there at that time, I don't know. I didn't ask. I was just listening to his story. And he said his dog started going crazy, started barking and going crazy. And he said the exact thing you described that lady said she saw in that book, he saw it appear and back behind Magic City. He said he saw it all of a sudden manifest, and he said it looked at him, and he said it had huge hands and long claws or something on it. He said it just scared him, and his dogs were going crazy. And I said, you should have let your dogs go and run because it could have came after you. He said it would have ripped his dogs apart within a second. That's how fierce it looked. He said it was huge. It wasn't like 6, 7, 8 feet tall. I think he said it was about 10 to 12 feet tall. And then he said to it, whatever it was, you stay over here, I'm going to stay over here. And he was trying to pull his dogs to go about his business, and he looked back and it had disappeared. How true that is, I don't know, but that's something that he told me. Maybe I'll make a series called Testimonies or something and just talk about what people see and try to get some visual effects or something about it. There's a girl I know who said she used to live in Vegas, and she saw a reptilian in the car. She said it was just sitting there looking straight ahead. And I said, what did you do? She said she screamed and ran off because she heard that they kidnap, kill, eat people and all that stuff. And I was like, are you kidding me? You didn't take a photo, no video, you get your phone out, nothing. And she said, no, it scared her. So imagine you just walking down the street and all of a sudden you look up and you think you're seeing a person in a car and you see a reptilian type person in there, or alien, demon, whatever. You see that in there. Most of us are going to be so startled, we'll probably go the other way. Now, some of us are probably going to be brave and go up to it and take a photo or something like that. And then if we did a photo, people say, oh, this Photoshop and fake. So, but she said it scared her because she's heard rumors about them and they see them periodically, and then she went the other way. So Lance says, yeah, there are several jellyfish videos. Yeah. Go to some of these other ones. Yeah, I'm still looking at the Peru stuff. Maybe it's being masked from the States. It's hard to get video footage on the few photos that I have of what I showed you guys. It seems like some, I don't know, interdimensional type beings or something. They always got like a light flashing around them or something. Like there's a light below them and then you see the being. So I just have not found any good information on it. So if you guys have that, email it over to me or send it over to me or put in the comments. Maybe we'll click on it here and show it up. But I still haven't seen anything with it. You would think, regardless of how good or bad the video quality is, somebody is going to get some type of footage and load it somewhere. That's like saying we never have any UFO footage of anything flying out there. Somebody's going to get something. I don't care how blurry it is. We can always try to use some AI software to clear it up and stuff. But somebody would try to get something. So what's going on, Rob? Appreciate you joining in. If you can, smash that like button. We are just going live. I'm testing some of this software here. I do plan on doing some stuff. If you guys just joined, I do plan on doing some stuff later on with it. I will have particular guests on here. I'll have people talking about what they've seen and all that. But I just wanted to test this and say hi so you guys can see my face. You don't see my face that much. I figured y'all want to hear more about the UFO stuff and not see me. So I appreciate it. I don't know if you're meaning that towards me, Dave, but appreciate it. Oh, John, I hope she got a picture. John says his wife saw a triangular shaped craft last week. I don't know if she probably saw it at night. It seems like a lot of those craft come out at night. They never come out during the day that I've ever known of. I do believe in the Belgium incident. That's the first time I saw that on Unsolved Mysteries in, what was that, the 80s, 89 or something. That's what really got me into it. It just intrigued me. And I still believe that photo is real. I really do. I mean, I really, really do. I don't care what people say. When I saw that in the 80s, I was like, wow. And I've seen stuff too. I remember I told you guys this before, and I'm kind of probably beating the dead horse if you've seen my live stream before. But I told you guys when I was laying in bed one day, I started looking at the stars and I was like, whoa, those are bright. And the stars started moving just all over the place. It was like, I don't know, about 8 or 9. They moved and they stopped, and they moved and they stopped. And I thought that was interesting. Now, of course, during that time, I didn't think about getting a camera out or anything like that, taking a photo. You wouldn't be able to see it anyway. But that got me pretty interested in what was actually going on. So Rob says he's never seen one, but as far as he knows, they're real. Yeah, it's some real stuff going on out here. It's matter of fact, there is a I don't want to mention this, another pastor that I talked to, and he actually has a YouTube channel. That's the best way I'll put it. But I was talking to him about this whole phenomenon because we were talking about this in his channel and stuff. And he's actually had a huge spiritual experience. He used to be into witchcraft and all that stuff. Very interesting, very, very interesting story. I don't know if he wants me to say his name or not because he didn't say do or don't. But, you know, he's actually seen a lot of stuff. And he used to astral project when he was younger. He doesn't do it anymore. I don't recommend that for anybody. If you guys don't know what astral projecting is, that's basically your spirit leaving your body. And a lot was going on with that. But he had told me, because he lives in California, he had told me this a couple of months ago. And I did ask him if he wanted to get on the channel. He said, yeah, I'll do it or something like that. But I don't know if he was just joking or not. But he said he was laying in his bed and there was a bright light outside of his window. And he looked out of his window. And then all of a sudden, he said it's like the roof literally got eaten through, like the beam of light shone on his roof, and it was transparent. And he saw the craft. And then next thing you know, he blacked out or whatever, went to sleep, and he woke the next morning. And I was like, well, do you remember what happened? But I remember him telling me that. And thus far, he hasn't lied to me or exaggerated or anything. I think we were talking about, I can't remember his name right now. I can't remember his name. You guys will, my mind's going blank. But the guy that first saw the term Men in Black, when he said he was in his room and then the three beings came through his wall and they smelled like burnt sulfur. Bender, Alex, I think it's Albert Bender or something like that. But we were talking about that, and we were talking about some of the stuff he saw because I was reading his book, which is actually a pretty interesting book. And he said he saw something like that. So very interesting stuff. So maybe I should do a series called Testimonies, even if it's a couple minutes long. Maybe you guys will or won't like it, but I can put a disclaimer saying these are just stories that I hear from other people. You know, it could or could not be true, but sometimes when you tell this stuff, other people have experienced it as well. So, but Jesus, I think I have seen aliens once in my life when I was younger and I was outside of my grandparents' house at night. We saw a triangular formation fly over the house. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna work on them. I'm trying to. I don't want to drag them out, if that makes sense. No, I haven't. Have you seen the appearing star? It goes stronger than dims. I have a video I was gonna put out tonight, but it's only 4 minutes long. It's some UFOs around a volcano, and I should probably just put it out. I mean, you guys are really up pretty late sometimes too, so I should probably put that out because there's a small video of a UFO actually leaving this volcano. It's very faint, and then it brights up, and then it's gone. And then some people were trying to say, "Oh, there's an airport right by," so it was an airplane or the lights from an airplane. No, it wasn't. There was no airplane anywhere in sight. So I do have some video footage of that. It's very short, but I do have a video I just did on UFOs around volcanoes. And you guys have seen one of those video clips I've showed you, but the 3 or 4 clips that I have in this one, you guys probably have not seen before. And I'll go ahead and I'm not so much spoil it, but 2 of the clips people were trying to say were bugs or fireflies, but they're not, because they remain luminous throughout the whole duration of the video clip, even though it's about 5 or 6 seconds long. Fireflies usually light up for a second and then like that. This one is very, very interesting. So it looks like little orbs are just kind of floating around with it. I should probably put that out. If I get 5 or 6 yeses, put the video out, I'll go ahead and release that right after we go live. I think I gotta do some video editing or some audio editing on that because I was going into Giants too, but I was looking at the Giants. I was like, so. Champ Style says, do you believe Billy Meyer? I believe Billy Meyer saw a couple of things. Now, he started, in my opinion, and from research that the little research I've done and then seeing other videos, he fictitiously put out a lot of different things. I mean, he was talking about being on a ship and seeing books and stuff, and some of the stuff he just fabricated from other things. It was just interesting. He should have stuck to, I saw these few UFOs. This is the 1 or 2 legit photos I got. And this is possibly one of the videos. He should have stuck to that because it does look like, and I know some people don't like this, and when I put the video out, I'm going to get a lot of hate on it, which is fine. But it does look like he literally took something and tethered. And I said, how can a one-armed man do it? Well, there's a one-armed guy who actually does full contact fighting. There's one-armed people who do all kinds of stuff. So you can't put past what someone is capable of doing or actually paying someone else to help them do. So Johnson, this sign lasted 15 seconds. Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, I did see they said something about Eyes on Cinema was one of the best channels out there or something. And I just wish he would do a little bit more conversing in his videos. I mean, it's fine he's got the video clips, and I don't know how he gets away with just putting the clips out there without getting struck or anything, but he has some pretty good stuff, and I see where he gets a lot of his information from, which is fine. So Ryan says, have you heard of Charles James Hall, who worked at Nellis Air Force Base? Is that the guy who, I'm so bad with names, y'all, who actually saw the UFO outside and there was a whole controversy about what he saw and it landed and all that? Is that guy right there? Because I know I did read a story on that. I did hear some information about that. I just haven't tackled that kind of stuff because it's kind of hard to put this out there because I've put out several videos before. You guys don't notice. I think since I've started this channel, I've had about 30 videos I put out and they kind of got struck. So I didn't release them. I was trying to find out what part was like having issues and stuff. And that's one reason why when I put videos that I kind of talk through them a lot because you have to kind of review stuff. You can't just put something out. And I think for some of those earlier videos with some footage I was just trying to put out there, there was a photo that someone got from their door cam of an alien. And it looks pretty legit. And I put that out there. And they were like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, what the? But I do have a Rumble. I do have a Rumble page. I was putting videos up on Rumble. And I do have an Instagram, but it's actually UFO Conspiracy. I didn't change the name there. So I had started putting stuff out there that could not kind of get flagged. But I stopped doing it because it wasn't growing like I kind of wanted it to. So, but there is the Rumble. And I should probably start putting that down in the description. And there's also my Instagram. It's actually UFO Conspiracies, I think, 01. And I'm going to change the UFO phenomena pretty soon. I just got to make the time to do it. Yeah, I think you're probably talking about Jeremy. Is that what it is? I think he's just so excited about getting stuff out, which is fine. But you're right, he does. I mean, it's kind of hard when there's breaking news and you want to be the first one to do it. But I think for his position and people respect him still, I'd rather for him to take a little bit longer and be 100% correct than put it out there. You know, for instance, if something came out yesterday and it proved to be false or somebody was playing a trick on him, I would rather for him to have waited an extra day and said, hey, this footage came out and this footage is not legit. This doesn't look good. You know, I'd rather for him to do that than, put it out there. But I know he's so excited because the stuff he's seen, the stuff he's heard, it just makes him want to I got to get this out there. So. Yeah, they should. You would think so. I think, well, when it boils down to it, YouTube just wants literally somebody to click on a video and watch it. It doesn't matter if it's for a few seconds or for a few minutes. The longer the video, the more, of course, the money's being made, the more audience retention and stuff on it. So there's a whole thing behind the algorithm with it. I mean, it goes from the thumbnail to the title to the actual video. And then, of course, the retention rate, if somebody clicks on the video, if they're there for the first few seconds and if they drop off. The whole algorithm, I think, is very interesting. But people say don't think about it as algorithm, think about the audience. I'm like, well, if you have 1,000 subscribers, from what I've seen, the rule of thumb is you'll get about 8 to 12% of your subscribers to watch your videos. In some cases, you'll get a lot more. But that's usually kind of how it is. I got about 8,000, a little bit over 8,000. I get about 1,000 or 2,000 views. So that's more than 10%, which is good. But I'm still trying to figure out the algorithm for this type of content because it's actually very interesting. Keywords, I've tried to do all that and it just sometimes doesn't help out the best, but. All right, I'm trying to scroll through these comments too, y'all. Okay. Somebody knew her, Johnny Bro. UFOs. He said he saw his first one in 1992. Sweet. And he says he loves RC cars. So you guys don't have an RC car channel too. That's kind of the hobby thing. And then I started this. I do put videos on that channel. Probably I used to do it once a week. I've kind of subsided. I kind of been taking kind of a break. I think I took too long breaks. I haven't put that much out, but I've actually have a video, and I think I had to take the video down. It was actually a UFO. I was in a park and it flew right by. And somebody caught it and I didn't catch it. And when I went back to the comments, I said, "Oh." And then I had some small issues with YouTube. And then I think that was one of the videos I had to take down. And it wasn't like it was copyrighted music or anything. That was very interesting. So I just took the video down, but there was one in one of my videos. It actually just flew right on by. And I didn't catch it till later on. And of course, I deleted the video because it was a couple of months after the video was posted. So yep, Noah's Ark in Turkey. They did put some clouds over that mountain that it was on. You know, I don't know if you guys want to see videos like there's tons of videos out there about that, but I guess if I did it, it would be just the way I would do it up. So what's going on, Tactical? If you guys are just joining, I appreciate you smash that like button. We got about 25 people on here. So Ryan's asking, do you still have the video, Johnny? And I'm late in these comments, so he says the video's on YouTube right now. Why you kidding, Tactical? I was actually going to about 10 years ago. I was actually going to sit up here and create a UFO out of a brushless motor. So I was going to put a couple of brushless motors and have them actually run that UFO. It was going to be pretty interesting. So, all right, trying to get through some of these comments that people are messaging me on stuff. So I'm trying to see what's going on. All right, people just. All right, just going through you guys' comments. If there's any questions y'all want to ask me, let me know. Okay. Well, why you said that about the dogs is very interesting that on that jellyfish video, them dogs didn't react. Normally dogs react to spiritual beings and stuff. They normally usually react to it. So that's why I was surprised that the dogs didn't bark and they just kind of flew right past them. Not saying they sense and see everything, but a lot of times they do. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the Bible. Now, I know that what Ezekiel saw wasn't a UFO. There's not really a UFO in the Bible. Some people will debate me to the end of the day on that, and that's fine. I know what I've seen. I know what I know about it. It's a lot of spiritual warfare going on too. But that wasn't a UFO that he saw. The Israelites were not led by a UFO either. I know they said it was a pillar of fire at night and a cloud of smoke during the day, but that's a whole different aspect. And at some point in time, I'll tackle that. So, okay. I'm trying to make sure not only that I read these, I put these up so everybody can see it in case they haven't seen any Creatures or Cast Out in the Darkness. What's going on? So we're just going live just for a little bit, just testing some of these go live features over here. Trying to make sure that what's going on. You made it live. We're here. 6 p.m. and I should be saying 6 p.m. where you're at. So, hey, we see you. So we're live just testing this out a little bit. I got to do some updates on this software. I need to buy the software basically. Because I wanted to show you guys stuff, but I wasn't able to do it with this. I'm pretty sure I could, but there's a couple of things I got to check out with this. But if you're talking about the UFO incident with all those kids stuff, I think they did a follow video when they got older stuff, which is actually pretty interesting. So, well, welcome to the world of UFO, where 15% of this stuff is good, 50% of this stuff is people just trying to gain fortune, and then the other 35% is really, really unknown. So, but there's a lot to learn. If you want to know more about it, I would start basically from Roswell and work your way forward. 1947. Maybe I should do a timeline video. I thought about that too. Now that'll be a long video. Timeline from 1947 up till today. Because if you start from that point and then move forward, you'll get a lot more information. You'll kind of see what's going on and everything too. Sorry, y'all. People are messaging me too, so I'm kind of looking down on this and all that. I'm trying to get to you guys' comments too. There's a lot to the UFO phenomenon that are saying UAP. I mean, that's been the word since the 2020. They've been saying UAP since COVID hit or something. They try to change the name over. And that stands for that has one thing is this, they changed it up to something else, an unidentified aerial phenomena. It's just, I don't know, it's very interesting. They're taking away the actual UFO, what we are unidentified flying objects, which is basically what they are. So Jim Style says 10-foot tall aliens means that they came from a much larger planet, different gravitational pull. Could be. We have to see one. David needs to come out. I know it's a national, but he's talked about it. What does he call them? NHIs, non-human intelligence or something like that. He needs to come out with a little bit more. That congressional meeting they had last year was actually interesting. It's a step forward. I know some people didn't like it. I wish Bob Lazar was on that panel, because if he was, that would have been good. So that's his wife said eye surgery a couple months ago. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot going on out there. I don't know if you know the actual name of the incident. They started naming these incidents with particular whatever country it is or state or whatever. They kind of got a name behind it. Like Roswell is the most popular because that was kind of created the whole UFO craze. I mean, it was all in the paper. The next day, said, "Oh no, it was a weather balloon." So we know what actually really happened there. So yeah, there's a lot of black folks that actually enjoy it. There's actually more than you know. There's a lot that have had experiences that don't come out or don't know what's going on. There is a video and you can't find it anymore. And I thought I had saved it I might have it on my old computer, but actually I got a computer that's 20 years old, y'all. And it's got some information on it. It's actually got one of the original books from 1970 something. It's a PDF book that somebody scanned in of when they actually went to the moon. And you guys can see stuff on there. I just have to fire that thing up. I will never ever have that thing connect to the internet. So what's going on? Thanks for joining in. We are just chatting. I'm testing this out if you guys are just now coming in here. He says David Goliath. Yeah. I did a short on giants. It's about a minute short or something. I need to repost it. But I did a short about giants, and Goliath was over 9 feet tall. Now he has 6 fingers and 6 toes. That's very interesting. It's something to always watch out for. And he had 4 other brothers. And then it talks about the Bible is loaded with also. I mean, it really is. If you guys read it, if the Bible was made into a movie, it would actually be X-rated, maybe double or triple X-rated, because it's a lot that goes on there. I think that some people try to discredit it, which is fine. They can say and do what they want. But it's a lot of information in there. It's a lot about a lot of things that actually go on. And a lot of things are actually going to transpire too. Especially in the Old Testament. You'll hear about giants and stuff. You'll hear a lot about that. And I think that nowadays they kind of covered that stuff up. But ooh, you used to astral project, man. You are brave. That's happened to me once or twice, and I didn't actually try to do it. Some stuff just happened. I think I might have told you guys about that. I won't try to do that again. So who's the guy that astral projected there? They've got some people that can do that. They can astral project different planets and stuff and around the world. And it's very, very interesting when you start reading about that and hearing about that. Brian says, rumor has it that Biden signed a bill today that will allow UFOs to begin recovering. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know about that. That can be some pretty good news. Obviously, you guys know I don't really watch the news anymore. I stopped watching the news about 2 years ago because it was just too much going on out there. So I do rely on you guys. You don't know. I do rely on you to kind of give me information. So I have to look into this. Yep. Like I said, there's a lot that goes on. It's so funny when the Bible talks about the demonic beings. Some people don't believe in it, which is fine. That's their choice. But it talks a lot about that. It talks about the casting out, and it's like 1 or 2 sentences. You know, I saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning. It's like, whoa, that's all you say about that? Like, you can't tell us more? But if you read throughout the Bible, you'll see that a lot of the different prophets and stuff talked about a lot of spiritual stuff. They talked about a lot of the angels that rebelled. A lot of them were cast down there, and they're in chains and in total darkness. So a lot went on with that. Actually, a lot went on. So, all right, trying to get through these comments. I appreciate you guys putting these comments up because it's making me stay live. Because I'm trying to actually get through them. To the Florida situation, we don't know. There's so much disinformation. I stopped looking at it. After 1 or 2 people started saying, "Oh, we just made this up," I was like, "I'm done." You know, there's some video. I think sometimes people try to see something. There was some video of some people running, and they were running to their left as far as the person filming it, and there was something they were running from on their right. And the person saw the people running, and he went over to the right, and you could barely see something. And they said that was what they were running from. And it does look kind of like the picture that I had in my thumbnail when I first covered this. It looks like a grayish dark being with long ears, long arms, and his legs were actually bent backwards. But you can barely see it. Now, that could be one of 2 things. So I think Eyes on Cinema is good. They do put out a lot of stuff. I don't know how he gets away with putting all that out. I know he had some trouble when he first started, but now he's able to put this stuff out more. But he puts out a lot of old documentaries, which is good. He puts out some stuff that's not actually out there on YouTube, or probably was taken down. So that's why I'm surprised he's able to put that out. But I think he does a good job because he puts out a lot of old testimonies and a lot of stuff that people haven't seen. I think he should maybe not do every day or every other day. I think he should do maybe 3 or 4 days a week, and make longer videos and stuff. But maybe he's on some kind of contract or something with that. I don't know. So, all right, appreciate you joining in, Rob. Appreciate you smashing the like button. I know some people are coming in here, trying to make sure I get to you guys' comments real quick. Making sure I put these up. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna leave this one up there. I think we had a max of about almost 30 people on, and then it kind of subsided down. Like I said, this live isn't the most entertaining because I'm not sharing screens and stuff, but this is your chance to ask me questions about anything or ask anybody in the comments questions. I'm actually putting the comments up here. I hope I sound the same, but this laptop I got is a laptop I just use for text coding. That's all it is. I mean, it's not even that powerful. I was actually editing some stuff a while back. I needed a laptop on the fly. That was some old code, HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, and I actually bought this laptop just for that. I think it was about $200 or $300 for this laptop. I was like, well, let me get it real quick because I need to do this, and I had to complete a project. So that's the laptop you guys see me on. So the audio and video may not be the best, but I was going to test it on here. So okay, I'll have to look this up, Timothy, because I think I can kind of share the screen, but it may take it off of here. I'm not sure what I was going to go on with it, but I'll have to come back to this and look this up. So yeah, and then maybe I mean I do believe somebody asked earlier about Jeremy Corbell. I mean, I do believe he knows a lot of stuff. I really do. I do believe he can't disclose some of this stuff, but he's trying to disclose as much as he can. When he sees something that may be similar to maybe what someone's told him or something, he's very enthusiastic to put that out there. So yes, we miss him. I miss his debates on Bob Lazar too, because he did not like Bob. He did not believe Bob at all. I believe Bob Lazar. I really do. I believe him since he first came out, and I believe him to this day. His story has not changed at all. He's just gotten older, and he's told it so many times. I think he's just like, oh my gosh, I got to talk about this again. So yeah, you would think because Billy Meyer's still alive, right? You would think that he would still be in contact, and it would be a lot more advanced now than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. So yeah, it's interesting how some of these people claim they've worked around and did a lot of this stuff, but there is not, and we need this, there's not one shred of evidence. There's not one sample of anything, no accidental photos, no nothing. And I know it's pretty much on lockdown when they go there, but you would think there would be something. I mean, one of the reasons like Bob Lazar is still here is because I do believe he has element 115 and he's got it hidden. If that gets out, the whole story is blown. And he's even said in interviews that if he says he has some names and information he can put out, but he's not doing it because it's protecting those people and their families, which I commend him for that. But he does have some stuff he can name a couple of names and people. And I think that's actually helped keep him kind of safe too. He stuck to the story that he's talked about. I still have not seen the video yet on, someone told me, the Alien Bible, where he's actually sat down, he opened the book up. I think they're calling it may not be the Alien Bible, maybe Yellow Page, something like that. And as he turned the page, it played like an animation. And it was supposed to be kind of the history of particular things and stuff. But I still have yet to find the interview on that. I did find the interview, and I showed that to you guys when he talked about when he worked at Area 51, the S4 division. And they actually took what he called the reactor and they turned it on and they pointed it at the candle. And the candle actually froze, but it was still melting, or the candle flame froze, but the candle wick was still melting. And I put a video up about that. And that was very, very interesting because I've never heard of that before. And you can even hear his expression. You can see his face expression. You can hear him talking about it. And he even described why a candle's like, when you take it into space, why it looks a certain way, and down here it's a certain. So it's very interesting. So he knows what he's talking about, but I've never heard that before. When I found that video, I saved that video. I put it out there, and I have a Bob Lazar video where I'm doing all kinds of question and answering, where I'm taking all the questions that people have asked, and I'm finding the video clips where he's talking about it and actually answering them. So now that's going to be a 20, 30-minute video because I think I got about 15 minutes of it done. So, but let's continue on down. Jay says, but I haven't seen saying that for decades, UFOs have the ability to affect our perception of reality. Yeah. They do. It's so interesting that we rarely see a lot of the same stuff. I mean, we're seeing a little bit more same stuff now, but I believe that some of the stuff we're seeing is, the ARV, or alien reproduction vehicle, also known as the flux liner. And I think someone called it the RAM, the replicate alien machine. I think that's what it stood for. So they have like 3 names for something we've actually reverse engineered. And of course, the sport model that Bob Lazar saw was not a reverse engineered craft. Yeah, they have some they do have some stuff, especially Billy, man. Some of his stuff, I'm like, yeah. Now his story has been very interesting. I mean, when I first heard about him, of course he has the hands that were cut off, but somebody said that happened. Was it a college accident or something where a saw or something cut his hand off? But I don't believe anyone explained how his chest got kind of messed up with that. So very interesting with his story. I mean, could he have gotten kind of delusional as he gotten older and fabricated stuff? He could have. Could he have made the whole stuff up? He could have made that up too. Um, I would have liked for someone to have done a medical background check for when he actually fired at those aliens and the Green Beret came down and put him up on the lift and lifted him up there. So who got him from the lift? Like what happened after that? I mean, somebody had to have seen him and said what happened, and that's where I think the skepticism draws up for his story is that once he actually got out of where he was at, remember the alien being he said that he had fired at actually went down. He said it waved his hand over his chest and a blue light came out and it shot at him and it kind of opened him up. And then I think he said a Green Beret came down into the tunnel and pulled him out. And I think the Y-Files did a whole video on him and talked about that. And they couldn't find particular legit information on it. But the thing I think about with him is that if that had happened, what happened actually when you went upstairs, when they actually put you in the elevator or whatever, and you went upstairs and they were still down there fighting. They didn't actually get on and chase you up there, or how far down were you? What was the exact location of it? So those are the things that I think that draw a lot of questions that he probably should have answered that would have made people less skeptical. So sweet. So I've heard of like the video I put out where it had the one UFO and it had the three metallic orbs. And people were like, well, did it go to it or something like that? There was an interesting theory that those orbs actually transform to say into like a UFO, into a saucer shaped craft. How true that is, I don't know. That's just he say, she say. That's just a rumor that I've heard. Then I also heard that um, those orbs, some of the ones we see actually transport stuff from A to B. Then I also heard that some of them, I think they call them fast walkers now, that some of them are actually taking photos of the Earth because there's a lot of drone footage out there of a lot of those things flying. There was one popular one a couple years ago that someone took, and it was a couple of miles away. Within a second, it just flew in front of the camera, in front of his drone camera. And that's probably one of the best ones I think I've seen out there. So it's kind of when you say that, it just makes me think about a lot of those things that people see. So I'm trying to make sure I show everybody's comments on here. Yeah, they could be people out there trying to mix up the truth with some fictitious stuff. I'm not going to put that past any of that. So, yeah, didn't start until 2014. We know that. Yep, that's exactly what they're trying to do. That's why they say UAP. They know this newer generation's more involved in social media and everything out there. So if they term it as something different, when you start searching UAP from what 2010 on back, you won't find anything. You search UFO, you're going to find a lot. And that's probably giving them a reason to maybe get rid of some of that information. Yeah, I've been hearing that. I told you guys I saw something a couple of weeks ago and I see stuff. And I don't know if it was you, but somebody contacted me about a park that they kind of see stuff at. I still have yet to, I can't even find the email when they emailed me on that. But yep. And that is actually in one of the videos that I put out, Jay, probably a day or two ago, where they show a lot of those. That's very interesting. Like what was really going on with that? And what would be more interesting was basically they're saying in Mexico, 1992, what he's saying here, there was a solar eclipse. And they captured, man, it was 30, 40 or more of those in the sky. Now, what will be more interesting is that if somehow when that solar eclipse happened, it actually made those craft visible. And if that's visible and that's what's always over us all the time, that would be crazy. So I think you're saying you smashed the like button, so I appreciate that. Okay. More on film than digital. Okay, will do. Trying to make sure I get through these. I'm almost. Oh, they're way down here. I'm trying to get to all these comments. People probably have left because I didn't get to their comments. So I'm gonna start from the bottom and work my way up, son. Let's see, make sure there's no new people in here that kind of came on and maybe had a question and I may have missed it. Dang, you guys are commenting or so. Okay. I see one about Bob. Is Bob's legit as the China moon landing? That's funny. See, I don't think China landed on the moon. That is interesting there. They did, well, when they land on the moon, they did see something, and then it said take them a week to get to the object. They got to the object, it was nothing. It's like, really? Okay. So you think China's doing what the U.S. did back in 69? And if they're doing what the U.S. did back in 69, they're, what is that, 50 plus years behind in deception and stuff. So that would be very funny. Okay, I have to look that up. Chasing flying saucers. Well, Jay, you will on this channel. That's why I'm testing this live stream too. The next time I'm going to try to correct a couple of things, and I'm actually going to have one or two people on here so you guys can ask them questions. It may not be the next live, but it may be live after that. But I plan on doing several this year. And that's one reason why I need to get this channel to grow, because I do want people to come on here. I do want them to come live, kind of like what we're doing now. Maybe get about 30 minutes to an hour of their time, and you guys can ask them questions. And of course, I can filter through some of this and just show it on the screen and all that. Or maybe I may have someone else to help me out to read it out, stuff like that. But it would be nice to get some testimonies on here from actual people. So I don't think people think he invented it. He was just the first one to talk about element 115. And it wasn't even on the table back then. It was something that was fictitiously that couldn't be done. I think now, from what I heard, is they can synthesize or create it, but it's only for like a millisecond. So it's not what, like the 400 to 500 pounds apparently that he said that they were given. And apparently Bob Lazar took some of that and he did a video where he did a couple of things with it. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the scientific lingo that he put in the video, but he had a video where he actually tried to create something that could use element 115. He had some smoke going, he had a light beam going, actually bent around a light, and he was talking about that. So, I mean, people don't believe Bob Lazar. I do, and you know that's fine if you do, if you don't. Some people believe Billy Meyer 100%. I believe him 25%. I mean, there was a photo of a UFO, and it looked like the one that was shot in Africa, a round shaped UFO, like it had bolts and stuff in it. And they took that photo and they actually broke it down. They couldn't find it to be falsified in any way, form, or fashion. So that may have been something he actually saw. I think that just like the Gulf Breeze, Florida incident, I think that they see this stuff. They get one or two photos. They start getting a little popular, and people want to see more. So they start creating stuff out the blue. I think that if you saw something and you're trying to eat off of it, like make money and stuff, you could. I mean, if you really saw something, you were legit about it, make your whole life story about that then. And I think Billy Meyer, all of them could have done it, but I think they've been discredited so many times that the people that could actually promote them are gone now, or they just like, yeah, it's not legit. So, all right, get into a couple of these. Yeah, there was some stuff with Secure Team. I followed him years ago with Tyler. I think what made me subside back from that was, if you guys remember he had that interview with, I don't know if it was an astronaut or whatever, but they were going in depth conversations about stuff. And somebody debunked that and said that that was actually Tyler literally interviewing himself, but he just changed his voice and all that. And it was an expert on, I guess, voice analyzation and stuff like that. But I was like, really? And then he had that little incident with the law and stuff like that. And his channel was still up. I mean, all the videos were taken down at one point, but then he got reestablished. So his channel's still up, and he hasn't put a video up in a couple of months. I know his father passed away, so that might have taken out a little bit of fire from him. Because I know when you lose somebody close to you, that could just drain that from you. So at a time like this is when a secure team could actually come out and do stuff. But I know sometimes after a while, it can be pretty difficult to put out the content that people want. But he hasn't really lost that many subscribers. He's still at 2 million. So if I had 2 million subscribers, I'm doing y'all once a week and y'all getting 30-minute hour videos. I'm having people on. We're going to get everybody on there 2 or 3 times. I would have Bob Lazar if I had 2 million subscribers. I'm trying to do it at 8,000, but it's not working. All right. Getting to the bottom of these. That you guys are commenting amongst yourselves. See what else is going on. Yep. And like I said, take it like this. If you guys saw a UFO and you got at least a good photo of it, now that we know now what we know now, would you continuously try to fake stuff and make stuff up? Oh yeah, by the way, the UFO came down and they talked to me and they took me to their planet and I went off planet and all that stuff. And I wouldn't do that. I would say, yes, this is what it is. I try to, get some copyright on my photo and go from there. So yeah, he faked a lot of stuff. I mean, it was some stuff that was actually good, and he did that. I was just like, whoa, So that's what made me kind of subside away. Even though he puts a video up, I will watch it. I mean, it's been about, I think looked at this channel the other day. It's been about 3 months he hasn't put a video. So yep, Champ Style. I'm old school too. So there's a lot of people out there that have had some pretty interesting UFO encounters, to say the least. So yeah, see. So I didn't see. So he did post something today. So I have to check that out and see what he said. Like I said, I know his father passed away, so we'll see how that comes about and what he actually starts to put out. So see. Okay. So you guys are saying I'm getting to the comments now because I know a couple of months ago his father passed away. So yes, aliens are real. I'm not saying they're not. Trust me on that. I think we got a mixture of some of everything out here. Why it's not being, why after all this time we haven't seen more, I don't know. Um, okay. Yo, everything well. I think I just got to the bottom of the comments. Yay. I probably missed a few, but all right, y'all. So any questions for me? Concerns? Anything y'all want to ask me why I have everyone here and you guys are on here and all that? Yeah, that's true. So Is that the one that was in Trinidad? I think I started a video on that. It's kind of the UFO looks like it's transparent. I'm not sure if that's the one you're talking about or not. I don't think disclosure will be this year. I think we will get closer to it. We got a lot last year. We got an awful lot last year. I think that we're going to have at least 2 to 3 more somewhat alien encounters like we saw with Miami and we saw in Vegas. I think we're going to have at least 3 more of those this year. But I think out of those 3 we get, one of them's going to have a little bit more legit evidence and some very better footage than what we've seen before. I think that we're going to start getting some more photos of stuff, and I think that more whistleblowers will start to come forward in the coming months because of some of the protection behind it. So, but I also think that there's going to be a lot of falsified stuff too that's going to come out. People are going to see that the UFO industry is a multi-million, close to billion-dollar industry if you hit it right. I mean, people are going to say they can make money on it. So I think that you're going to see a lot of falsified stuff, which is going to kind of turn the public away from this again. So, no, I haven't, but I've seen some of the cigar-shaped UFOs before, and those look just like they described on Above Majestic when they talked about some of the first interstellar craft were actually UFOs. I mean, were actually submarines. And they said the reason why is because they were modular in structure. They were already airtight and they could actually construct it for particular purposes and stuff. So I think that's a lot of the cigar shaped UFOs we saw a long time ago. So am I giving away money? No, I'm not. I know that this industry, if you do it right and hit it, you even falsify stuff, you could make some. So. Oh, yeah, the X Files got me. I actually quit my job one time because of the X Files. I wanted to watch it on a Friday night and I had to work. I was like, man, I'm not going to work tonight. I think it was the Bigfoot one. And then when I watched, I said, man, I missed work for this. I could have had extra money. And then they were mad at me because I was a dishwasher. So they were, well, don't plan to be on a schedule next week is what they told me. And I was like, that's fine with me. I mean, I ain't out for Ponderosa. I was like, that's fine with me, man. Washing all them dishes and I'm good. So no, unless it comes from a foreign government, that's when disclosure will happen. And we know they got some stuff out there. I don't know what's keeping a lot of this. Well, I know what's keeping a lot. There's an agenda behind this whole thing. Um, that's the reason why there's no disclosure. They talk about national security, which is fine. But I think there's a lot more out there that's going on, a lot more that's going to transpire. So, yeah, I quit work for the X Files. I did not go to work that night. I think it was the one on Bigfoot. The trailer for it looked so good. I was like, look, y'all, when I used to wrestle, I didn't go to wrestling on Saturdays because I wanted to watch X-Men. I said, I could wake up, go to this wrestling meet, go to practice, or I can lay here, eat some cereal, and watch some X-Men. So I laid there and watched some cereal and watched X-Men and ate some cereal. I remember they had a meet 2 weeks out, and I was ready. And the coach said, "You're not wrestling." I said, "What do you mean I'm not wrestling?" He said, "You don't come to practice." I said, "I'm here tonight." I was there Monday through Friday. Well, Monday through Thursday. I sometimes didn't come on Fridays. I wanted to go out, and then Saturday mornings, I was like, "I'm not getting up going here." I wasn't disciplined enough. I was more disciplined to watch X-Men and all that and watch cartoons than I was to go and wrestle. So, okay. MW, I have to look that up. There's probably some information I got. I got a couple of things um on my computer and phone that I've been trying to do videos on. So, all right, Champ Style, we'll see you. Drink a shot for me. We won't be on here too much longer. Yep, that is true. Follow up on Peru. I have not, because I haven't gotten any good information on it. I haven't gotten any good photos. If I could just get one halfway blurred, decent photo, or some people running and she's like a blur come by, I'll be like, oh, they saw it. But I haven't, and they could be blocking it. I mean, they could be blocking this stuff from coming up on here, but I haven't seen it. That's why I haven't followed up on it. I maybe was going to do a couple things here and there, but it's like, I will try to do my best. I will try to keep this channel going and growing. So, oh, that is a tough one. I'm going to put it like this. I don't know if they were 100% real, but I know something like that did exist at one point in time. And I know that really doesn't answer your question. I know that there were some people skeptical of it. They invited people over to look at it. I don't know if they did. I didn't follow up on that, but I do believe some stuff like that did exist at certain periods in time. Maybe they were mummified. So to answer your question, yes, I do. But the stuff they had there is kind of skeptical in a way, but it probably was. I mean, but I do believe in those stuff like that did exist at some point in time. They may still exist now. Those are some pretty small ones too. So should boycott Texas Roadhouse because of what happened at the border? I'm not into the news that much, so I don't know what happened. You may have to enlighten me or send a link or something I can look it up on if you don't want to type all that in. No problem, Lance. I try to put out a couple of things. I'm trying to stay on there. I'm trying to hang tough with y'all. AOC. I'm not sure who AOC is. Yeah, a lot of them do. So. All right, yeah, we've been live for over an hour. I was planning on just staying live for 30 minutes, but y'all kept me on. I want to make sure there's no questions. I don't like that because it discredits the Bible, the ancient astronauts theory, because that's just what it is. It's just kind of a theory. I know what certain things are facts and what certain things are truths and certain things are the theories, and they discredit not just that, but they also discredit a lot of things. You know, it's like I had a coach a while back who was trying to tell me how to train to do things. And you guys know I do martial arts, stuff like that. But it was all theories. He didn't know stuff. He's just theorizing on maybe this will work or that, but he didn't want to make it sound like that. And I was like, no, that's not going to work. Or this training method's not going to work. Or, you're watching people do stuff and you're just theorizing that that's going to work. And it's not. And I've seen that with a couple of coaches and people in my lifetime. And I'm like, no, you actually have to be in it. Now they do have some people every now and then, I believe, that have seen some stuff or experienced it, but the majority of them are just kind of pulling stuff out. I mean, they really are, and they're trying to say, oh, this was that back. I think they're off. I think they're off to just put it in a nutshell. So. Says, I've seen two metal balls flying together 100 meters in the air. I had seen through a triangle whistling through the air at high speeds, wishing noise at 4 a.m. above my house. Man, we need you to get some photos, man. I know it's hard. I know once you walk away and come back, it's gone. We got to start. Google's got to come back with those Google Glasses again so we can just hit that button and start recording stuff. Now, I'm not saying I don't believe you at all. We just need some photos and videos and, go to some of these UFO reporting sites and put it out there. Maybe someone else saw it too. Because that would be interesting. You see that and someone else said, man, I saw the same thing when I was coming home. Bam. Case solved. From what he understands, Texas was told to stop enforcing its borders. They basically have said, you can tell us to stop defending ourselves. Ooh. So why are they going after Texas Roadhouse? Does Texas Roadhouse not enforce the borders, or do they enforce the borders? And I know that's a whole different topic than speaking on UFO stuff. So, all right, Johnny, peace out. AMG, I do too. There's some stuff going on here. Oh, no problem, Astral Reality. I appreciate you subscribing, commenting, looking at the videos, all that stuff. If you share them, I appreciate that all too. So, yeah, they are very short. All right, we got about 25 people on here. There's a couple new people coming on. I want to make sure I show their comments and make sure there's nothing. Okay, AOC. Okay. I was wondering what that. I was like, what does that stand for? Oh, shoot. So she had her brain removed by aliens. That's very interesting. I have to look that up. It is Texas. I actually go there. Me and one of my boys go there periodically. I ate there a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of like an Outback Steakhouse, somewhat, but a little bit cheaper. But they actually have good food there. I mean, the one up in North does. The one by the Mall of George. The other one over here is that's down by me sucks. But the one by Mall of George is good. So, but they serve chicken. They serve some veggie dishes, vegan dishes. Well, not so much vegan, but they got some vegetarian dishes and all that. They have peanuts, and they used to have peanuts all on the floor, but they stopped doing it once COVID hit. So there's probably some UFO experiences. If you look back at some videos I did, there's actually a chart where you can track those UFOs and stuff to see if any UFO incidences have happened in your area. So sorry, y'all. I'm sitting up here taping some stuff, and people are messaging me too. So all right, I'm probably going to end this shortly. I do apologize about that. Yeah, it's just interesting that they would target Texas Roadhouse. I mean, just because of Texas, the whole border thing is interesting in itself. So, oh, appreciate that. I'm testing this live out. I've tested this before. I'm testing it on this laptop just to see the quality of it and stuff. But I'm gonna have to do a couple of things differently because I do want some people to actually come on, do some interviews. We'll talk, and then I'll tell them, "Hey, keep your questions until the very end, and then we'll get into the Q&A part of whoever I bring on an interview, even if it's just some person that said they saw something a couple of times." So, oh, okay. I was like, she got her brain taken out. How's she still functional? Is she just a vegetable? I was like, okay. Well, Jay, it's very interesting when you start looking into why the wealthy don't pay taxes. It's because they are aware of the tax laws and the tax codes. It's very interesting. When you hear about Bill Gates donated $50 million to the Bill and whatever foundation and stuff, it's not like what you think. I mean, it's really a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of tax laws, tax codes. Trump has talked about it periodically. He hasn't talked a lot about it, but one of the things I think that's talked about, and I think you can find this on you can search this on YouTube, so people talk about it. But you get a huge tax break if you have a corporate building and you employ a certain amount of people. You get huge tax breaks. So think about somebody who owns Amazon, and they have. Still don't understand how Amazon can do what they do, it, and they have buildings everywhere. I mean, they can ship stuff same day, next day, 2 days, whatever, and they employ hundreds and thousands of people at these particular facilities. It's better it makes more financial sense to tax the $50 billion man each year, but it doesn't stimulate the economy and it doesn't actually throw money into the economy. So if I owned 30 buildings and there were 20 people in each building, that's actually keeping people working. It's keeping people going out buying stuff, groceries, cars, bills, etc. So it's actually putting money into the economy. And with that, I don't know the exact codes and stuff, but there are tax codes and tax laws. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people that are wealthy don't get taxed like that. We know Elon Musk doesn't pay himself a salary and stuff, so he can avoid taxes and all that. And there's people that do stuff through a particular type of business and not their own self. So there's a lot of stuff behind it. I get what you're saying. Trust me on that. I'm not defending any of them, but I know that there's laws and things in place that we as normal people don't understand. We get taxed on $800 when they make, 80 billion, or 80 million, and they don't get taxed a single dime on it. And that's one of the reasons why you think a lot of the actors and stuff are starting to go out and they're starting to buy commercial property. They're starting to buy hotels and stuff like that because they want to get some of those tax breaks. No, I haven't, but I'll have to check that out. So trying to get through these last few comments before we get off of here. There's your personal experience that really stands out to you. Personal experience or testimony experience from somebody? I mean, when you say exciting experience, I mean, I've had my few. So I've had those and I've had some spiritual experiences too, which is very, very interesting. So I'll see if I can find your comment. If you comment back, if you say personal or just in general. Still talking about that brain. Quick thoughts on what I think UFOs and UAPs are. UFOs are real. I do believe, like I said, I do believe what Bob Lazar has said. I believe that from the very beginning. I do believe that we do have programs in place to reverse engineer UFOs. I do believe that some of them are from this planet that have been here for a long time. I do believe that. I do believe that some of them are from different parts of the universe and galaxy. And I do believe that a lot of them are interdimensional, meaning from another dimension or plane. There were stories I read in the early 90s. I remember there was these two fishermen out. He said it was about 4:30 in the morning. And this is on the show Sightings when that used to come out. It used to be popular. And they said that they were fishing. And they said they looked up and they saw the moon. They were like, man, and the moon is bright. And they looked again, the moon was moving. And the moon was actually a UFO. And he said it actually stopped. He said it was a bright light. And he said, as it started to stop, he said, like a hole opened up, which is a portal, and it flew through it. And bam, it was gone. And that was their whole story. And they didn't even make a big hoopla about it. They weren't trying to write books and all that. It was him and his friend there. And it was, I think he still was about 4-ish in the morning or so. And when he described that light, that's something that I personally saw years ago. Me and a friend was upstairs. We were in a room chatting. And then actually when we left out, I walked outside and I walked out before her. And I saw that same, it was, I would say it's whitish blue. It's kind of hard to describe the colors. And the reason why people don't understand it's hard to describe some of these colors, especially if they're interdimensional, is because you have to realize that here on Earth, we are on a spectrum of 7 colors. We have 7 colors. If you don't believe me, ask NASA, ask some astronauts. So when they take photos of pictures of the universe, like what you guys see in the background here, the UFO phenomena thing and all that stuff, when they take those photos and they actually try to bring it back, that's not what those colors look like. There was a guy who did a testimony years ago and he talked about that. And he came to the conclusion, he's got a whole story, and his story was taken off of YouTube. But whether you want to believe it or not, he had a near-death experience. He said God took him to the center of a universe and he saw all kinds of stuff, and he did this testimony in the 60s. But he said every planet had a different color and every planet made a certain tone or something. He said it was unbelievable. But he came to the conclusion from what he could actually just put in his mind that the universe had at least 88 different spectrum colors out there. Now think about it. We got one spectrum and that's got what, 7, 8 colors in it. and we get all these colors here. So imagine the universe having another 80 plus added onto that. So when the guy talked about the bluish whitish light and he couldn't he couldn't explain the color, that's kind of what I saw. So that's one of my testimonies, and it was there and it was gone within a second. I mean, it just jetted away. I don't even know what direction it went. It was just sitting there, and it was actually like it was above at an angle from her window. How big it was, I don't know, but it was so fast, it actually jetted away. And what's so funny was I saw that same thing about a month later. Me and a friend was driving up actually on Pleasant Hill Road. If you guys are familiar with Atlanta, they call it Pleasant Hill because of the traffic. And I saw the same thing. It actually swooped down and then shot off quick. And I asked my friend, it was a different friend with me. I said, "Did you see that?" And she said, "See what? You're crazy." And I was like, okay. So I saw that twice. So I know that was long-winded, but hopefully that explains some stuff. We actually lost 2 or 3 people when I was talking about that. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that. A lot of political stuff going on with that. It's very interesting. Yep, I'm trying to stick with UFOs and flying saucers because that's what they look like and that's what they are. There are no unidentified aerial phenomena and all this stuff. So what happens if we as U.S. citizens refuse to pay taxes for a couple of years? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. They're going to make some examples of some people. And there's some people that's going to do it anyway. So, I mean, you pay taxes on everything regardless. Yeah, there's a lot of political stuff going on with that. So hopefully, Jay, MW, that answered your testimony. So someone else's testimony. I told you guys before, I believe Bob Lazar. I mean, he didn't see aliens. He said he might have saw something, but he wasn't sure what it was when he walked by a room once. As far as someone else's testimony, I can't think of any offhand that actually stands out that makes me go, "Oh, wow." You know, I mean, there's so many of them out there. I can't think of one offhand. I really can't. I mean, other than the Roswell incident, I mean, I believe that that was an actual event. I believe that a lot of people have come forth with some fake stuff. Like, who was the lady that was on Joe Rogan? You know, I looked at her stuff and her testimony. She said the guy told her on his deathbed what actually happened at Roswell, and he said he couldn't say anything until he passed away. And he said they were using Down syndrome children, and they manipulated the structure of their faces and all that stuff. And he said that what actually crashed there was something that the Russians had jettisoned off into our airspace. It got down there and it got shot down. And the things that came out were actually Down syndrome children. They were doing experimentation, all this stuff. A very interesting story, but it goes against what Boyd Bushman said. Boyd Bushman said that someone told him, and the reason why he could tell is because he wasn't, I guess he had clearance. He didn't have the high clearance that the person had, but he said that there was an experimental aircraft out, and he radioed back in and said, "Hey, do we have any friendlies in the area?" He said, "No." Any enemies? He said, "No." He said, "Well, there's something out here and it's traveling faster than me." And he said, "Well, can you catch it and shoot it down?" He said, "I think I can." And he caught up to it, not speed wise, but he was able to shoot it and shoot it down. And that's what crashed at Roswell. He said he landed his plane and he got out the plane. He went over there and he saw the craft had crashed. There were beings out. And then he heard ambulance and all stuff. Once he got back in the plane and took off. That's a very interesting story too, that he landed his airplane to see what was going on. And then, of course, the rest is history from that point. I mean, you have the military that actually said we captured a UFO. Then the next day it was like, no, it's a weather balloon. But then you have testimonies of certain people, like the nurse that disappeared. So that story I've always believed as far as complete testimonies. And that's one of the most popular ones out there. And the reason why I believe that so much is because there's so many nowadays different stories coming out about it instead of what actually was told in 1947. And back then, the newspaper was like the internet or TV or something. It was more popular. What was said there was said there, and then it changed the next day. And people said, "Oh, it was a weather balloon." military experimental stuff, and they believed it. And when more people should have actually gotten on that. So hopefully I answered that. I'm going to go down to this last one or two, and I'm going to actually get off of here. Let's see this right here, this here. Yeah, and that's where it gets into the spiritual and interdimensional thing about this. I do believe that there is some kind of cloning thing going on. I do believe that possibly that they're filling shells up. I mean, there's testimonies what people say on stuff, so I don't want to get too much into that without a lot more information. But there's a lot going on, y'all. There really is. So here's the Canadian farmer, Ed. He saw 3 discs in the field. Yeah. I actually got a video where I put that photo up. And I think what he saw was actually ARVs. And I think Eyes on Cinema did a video on that. But very interesting. I mean, that would freak me out. You just go out there and you just see these 3 huge discs in the field. So yeah, there's a lot out there. Like I said, it's hard for me to try to think about that because it's a question that was just I didn't think about somebody would ask. But so Lance, the one actually chased him, came down in the 90s. Okay. I'm trying to get to the end of the comments before I end all this. Well, Jay, I may have to get you on the channel at some point in time for you to tell it to people so they can hear it and ask you some questions. So. Okay. Well, Jay, you have to email me. Well, maybe we'll get you on the channel at some point in time later this year to talk more about that. Okay, this is more incident. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I'll have to look up. I'll have to come back to this chat and look up some of this stuff you guys are talking about. Yeah, this fleshly body is a spiritual container, if that's what they want to try to call it. I've heard about that too. I've heard about that even from the religious aspect of it. You know, I know some people try to think about Star Wars stuff, but we are spiritual beings living a fleshly experience. And it's hard for people to believe that, but it's a lot going on with that. I mean, it really, really is. So, and yes, I believe Travis's story. All right, have a good night, man. I'm actually going to be signing off of here too myself. So I appreciate you guys joining. I know it's kind of long when I did plan on being on this long, but I did want to make sure that we at least got to talk a little bit. You got to see my face. So, you know, when I do videos and I'm talking, you can actually put a face with some of those videos. But I'll do a lot more coming up this year. This is the first test live stream that I'm doing, but I have a lot more coming up. So I appreciate you guys. You guys all have a good night, and I will see you in the next video. I might put the volcano UFO video out shortly. I don't know. We'll see. But you guys all have a good night. I always appreciate you.